The
Will you
story
marry
follows
me?
Huyen's journey through her third month of pregnancy, experiencing the miraculous changes in her body. By her side is De, her husband,
I can feel the baby
clumsy
move.
but full of love.
I know, it's
From small
amazing.
morning worries and tender, awkward gestures to the anxious glances while waiting for the ultrasound results, every moment shows his deep care for his wife and unborn child. The moment they see the ultrasound image and learn their baby is a girl fills them both with overwhelming joy. They share a simple lunch in the soft sunlight, walk home under the golden evening light, and end the day with Dad whispering heartfelt words to their little daughter. The story captures a warm, ordinary, yet deeply moving glimpse of family love, the formation of new life, and the quiet but profound happiness it brings. If this story touched your heart, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you won't miss the next episodes. Every subscription is a huge encouragement for us to continue creating more beautiful and emotional stories. Thank you for being part of our journey. That morning was as gentle as a breath. Sunlight slanted through the window, laying soft golden patches across Huyen's shoulder. She lay on the sofa, one hand resting on her belly, where just 3 months ago everything was still flat and quiet, and now a small, tender seed of life was stirring. In the kitchen, Dev fumbled with a bowl of eggs, clattering utensils as though he were performing some delicate ritual. Bits of eggshell mixed on the counter, metal met metal, and yet the sound somehow made the home feel more alive than ever before. From the moment he learned Huyen was pregnant, Dad seemed transformed. Awkward but attentive, clumsy but overflowing with excitement, every gesture he made was so careful, as though a sudden movement might startle the tiny life inside her. And Huyen, in the soft, early days of pregnancy, felt changes blooming within herself too. She moved more slowly, breathed more gently, and in her chest grew a kind of love she had never experienced before. That morning, they prepared to go to the hospital for a routine checkup. Only 3 months in, yet Huyen's heart beat in a strange rhythm, a mix of her own heartbeat and the faint echo of another hidden deep inside. When they stepped out of the apartment, Dad kept glancing back at her every few steps, anxiously asking if she felt dizzy or uncomfortable. Huyen smiled at his unnecessary worries, but inside she was grateful. Every pregnant woman, she thought, would want to be loved with such clumsy tenderness. The city road was bright with morning light. Huyen sat behind Dad on the motorbike, but instead of wrapping her arms around him like she always did, she held her belly, reminding herself that their world no longer belonged to just the two of them. Cool wind brushed her hair. Every few minutes, Dad turned his head slightly, asking whether she was tired. That simple question, repeated so often, made her feel as if the whole city softened into the fabric on his back. The hospital was crowded, yet held a calm atmosphere. Women sat with hands on their bellies, eyes filled with a mixture of hope and quiet nervousness. Huyen watched them and realized they all carried the same anticipation, waiting for signs from the life inside them. Meanwhile, Dad could simply not sit still. He paced, checked the doorway, bought water and returned without drinking it, then shifted his chair again and again as though awaiting an important exam result. Huyen watched him and thought, if our baby really is a girl, she will adore her father. When the ultrasound room door opened, the cold gel touched Huyen's skin and made her shiver slightly. The black and white screen flickered to life, revealing the first outline of their tiny angel. A bright dot glowed like a star in the night sky. A heartbeat echoed through the speakers, quick, steady, vibrant. Huyen felt her chest swell as though her own heart was beating in tune with it. Des stood beside her, wide-eyed, fingers clasped so tightly they whitened. He looked overwhelmed, as if he had forgotten to breathe. Never in his life had he wished for anything as deeply as he did in this moment. To see proof that his child existed, moved, kicked, and lived quietly within his wife's body. Then the doctor tilted her head slightly and kindly announced that the baby was a girl. Such a simple sentence, yet it lit up Des' entire world. Huyen turned toward him. His eyes were filled with a joy so profound it needed no words. Happiness shimmered across his face like sunlight breaking after rain. In that instant, Huyen felt her heart swell with an emotion deeper than anything she had imagined. Outside in the hallway, while Huyen wiped off the gel, Day held the ultrasound picture as if it were a precious relic. The tiny printed silhouette seemed to hold an entire universe of hope, dreams, and promises. He stared at the picture, then at his wife, then at the picture again, as though trying to memorize every detail of this day. It was in that moment Huyen realized this was the day Day truly became a father. They had lunch at a small eatery near the hospital. Day ordered the dish Huyen liked most, carefully remembering every detail. Less oil, no scallions. She looked at him, smiling softly, her heart turning tender like a drifting cloud. In the middle of the meal, she placed her hand on her belly, feeling a faint flutter. Perhaps real, perhaps imagined, but even the possibility of their baby moving was enough to bring moisture to her eyes. On the walk home, the late afternoon light spilled across the pavement like warm honey. Huyen walked slowly, one hand cradling her belly. Day walked beside her, carrying bags of vitamins, snacks, and a heart brimming with affection. He said he wanted to make her smile every day from now on. Those words, simple and quiet, melted something inside her. There are promises that are small in sound but large in meaning. His was one of them. That evening, the bedroom glowed under the soft yellow lamp. Huyen leaned back on her pillow while Day rested his head gently against her belly, as if listening to a secret. He hummed a lullaby, off-key, uneven, but filled with sincerity, more beautiful than any perfectly sung song. Huyen watched him, feeling a wave of tenderness wash over her. Some moments, she thought, do not need grandeur to become unforgettable. When Day suggested naming their daughter Huyen, Huyen paused. The name carried a sense of serenity, soft as a sigh, just like the peace their baby had brought into their lives from the very beginning. It felt fated, as though the name had existed long before, waiting only for him to speak it aloud. Tears welled in her eyes, not from sadness, but from an overflowing, abundant happiness. Night settled, the room grew quiet. Huyen felt the warmth of Day's hand resting on her belly, steady, tender, like an unspoken vow. He whispered to their child with a gentleness she had never heard in his voice before. His words dissolved into the air, delicate as wind, yet somehow carved themselves into her heart. Before sleep claimed her, Huyen looked at him. He lay beside her with eyes still open, as if afraid to fall asleep and miss even a single moment of their daughter's growth. She reached out, intertwined her fingers with his, and he squeezed back, just enough for her to know that from this day on, neither of them would ever walk alone again. In the quiet darkness of the room, within her small and growing belly, a life pulsed gently, peaceful as a lullaby, strong as the love encircling it. And that night, under the warm glow of city lights, they both understood. From the moment they heard their daughter's heartbeat, life had become infinitely more beautiful.